This week on Cruise In.
It sat inside a machine shop in Parkersburg, West Virginia for close to 40 years. And this is what it looked like then.
After 40 years, it looks like it just left the showroom.
Little old lady hand embroidered them ones on the back, the headrest of the seats. She charged my upholstery guy $3 a piece for those.
A great deal and a great accent for this classic Plymouth.
It was a grocery getter. It was kind of dented up a little bit.
Dented up groceries? What kind of... Never mind. Plus,
it's kind of a scary thing to get into because it's not like metal where you can just shape it and weld it back together.
the Buckeye guys talk about working with fiberglass.
And we told him, he said, paint something beautiful inside.
And he did just that, but you have to look to find it.
I couldn't run your camera either.
There you go. Okay, we'll operate the cameras. Cruise In from Pop's Car Show in Akron, Ohio starts right now.
This week on Cruise In, a little fatherly love. Hi, I'm Will Burge, and we're in Akron, Ohio at Pop's Car Show at the Sons of Herman Social Club. Now, Pop's has been doing this a long time, so all the best rides come out here. So you know what that means? We got to get started. Danny, what kind of car are you standing next to here?
It's a 1963 Comet custom convertible.
And how long have you had this?
A little over 12 years.
A little over 12 years. Okay, so when you found this car, and I ask this question a lot, but you have a unique story. When you found this car, where did you find it? What condition was it in?
It sat inside a machine shop in Parkersburg, West Virginia for close to 40 years. And this is what it looked like then.
40 years in a machine shop,
Pretty
and it looked
close.
like this.
Yeah, it's never been restored.
How did that happen?
A friend of mine knew the man. He's from West Virginia at that time, so he's passed away, but he was the head of the Mustang Club back then. And a friend of mine had a body shop here, and he knew him. They were friends. He moved up here to Ohio, and he was living with his daughter in Manchester. Well, they kept it in the garage, and he got tired of seeing her out there scraping the ice off of her car. So he called up Jerry Dinkelman and said, I want to sell this car. And Jerry told me about it, and I said, he said, I know where there's a Comet. And I said, I don't want no Comet. He said, it's red convertible, and he said, if you don't buy this car, he said, I'll take you and your wife out to a steak dinner. He said, it's that nice. And had 9,100 original miles when I bought it. Now it's got 20,000.
9,100 original miles. So why originally did it sit for 40 plus years?
Inside a machine shop.
Yeah.
Stayed there for 40 years, and he passed away, and then he come down to Ohio here with the car. That's how I got it.
Wow. And then what did you have to do? I mean, it was exactly this condition. Is there anything you had to do to it?
No, I did change the engine. The engine sat so long it had issues, and I wanted to get on the freeway and be able to drive it, so I put a late model high performance 302 engine in it. As far as all the body, the trim, interior, I didn't have to do anything. This is the way it was.
I mean, it looks like it rolled off the showroom floor.
Yeah, I showed him inside the trunk and the back, because convertibles had a tendency to rot away back there, and you could just see the factory overspray paint. I mean, it's never had any issues.
I mean, everything shined like this as soon as you brought it out. Did you have to take a rag to it, anything?
Yep, everything. All the trim and everything you see is original. I didn't add anything to it.
So when you tell other people that story when you're at car shows,
well,
there's got to be some disbelief,
sometimes
right?
It's a long story. And I've seen people raise eyebrows, but what can I say?
They think that Denny guy, man, I don't know, he's full of it over there.
Well, like I said, so I'm sure a few of them don't believe it, but that's human nature.
And what are the keys in the dashboard there?
Those were when he bought the car and the parts department back then. You know what I mean? They didn't come with the car, but you could get them back then. But he never wanted to cut them. He just used them for display.
Wow. So the uncut keys from the original car that sat 40 years and had 9,000 miles on it. And here's Lucky Denny coming. You need to buy a lottery ticket and let me chip in with you.
Oh, man, you're probably right.
And is it the original convertible top too?
No, the original one, I was afraid of the threads because they were dry rotted. It looked brand new.
Yeah.
I just replaced it with another white top. So yeah, I have replaced the top for that reason.
Man, it is unbelievable and a crazy story. Absolutely crazy story. I'm glad you brought it out here today, and lucky you, man. Like I said, we're going to go get a lottery ticket after this, all right?
Yeah. Maybe I better, huh?
All right, Noel, what are you standing next to here?
1941 Plymouth Coupe.
And this is not original, not stock. Doesn't look like they looked in 41, does it?
Kind of like a street ride.
Yeah, I like it. Very nice. How long have you had it?
11 years.
11 years. And how much restoration did you have to do to it when you got it?
I do the interior, the paint, the motors, you know, pretty much all.
Pretty much everything.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to start back to front. We're going to move from back to front as we go through this.
Okay.
The tail lights, and I guess also the ornament hanging from the river, they're like demon heads.
Well, I used to have El Diablo airbrushed on the trunk deck because it runs like hell.
Yeah.
But I was going to one of Pop's shows out in Hartville last year, and some lady rear-ended me looking for a yard sale. It did about $8,000 worth of damage to the bag.
Oh, wow.
So I just never put the El Diablo back on. I think it looks better without it.
And then the sound system in the trunk, standard for a 41, right? That came equipped with this.
Actually, I had a 56 Mercury before this, and I had that in the 56 Mercury, and I took it out of the Mercury when I sold it and put it in there.
As our producer John said, there's a party everywhere you go.
That's right. 100 watts.
Yeah, there you go. I love the pinstriping too. And then there's the ships all through it. So what's the ships?
Well, see, the Plymouth Rock's where the Pilgrims landed. So the Plymouth was named after that. So the long, tall ships is what Columbus and them came to America on. You know, so.
And you had those custom done, obviously, right?
Yeah, this little old lady hand embroidered them ones on the back, the headrest of the seats. She charged my upholstery guy $3 a piece for those.
Well, that's a steal, is what that is.
He marked them up a little bit for me, though.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
But then he told you they were only $3 afterwards?
Yeah.
At least he was honest about it.
Yeah.
And in the pinstriping itself, why did you choose those colors? I love those colors.
They kind of went with the rest of the red and the gray real good.
How is this driving?
I drove it to Columbus last couple weeks ago to Good Guys. I drive it everywhere.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I noticed you don't trailer it because you have a sticker on the side that says silly yuppie, trailers are for boats.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer if you got them, you should drive them.
Amen to that.
That's one of the Good Guys Association's main thing is to drive them. If you got them, drive them.
Well, I'm glad you did what you did to this. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's cool as hell, and we appreciate you bringing it out and showing it to us today.
Thanks.
There's tons more great rides coming up from Pop's Car Show in Akron, Ohio, like this one that Frank's got. Frank, what are we standing next to?
This is a 1963 Dodge Ram Charger Max Wedge clone, registered on the National Registry with Ram Charger.
How long have you had this?
About 4 years.
About 4 years. Have you done a ton of work to it?
I did a full restoration. I did it
Really?
all. Yeah, I build the motors, trannies, and rear ends in them.
Just a hobby for you.
Yeah.
Building beautiful things like this.
Retired hobby.
How often do you get it out to car shows?
I've got 3 of them, so I alternate them out. Usually try to go once a week through the whole summer.
Yeah, it gives you something to do all summer long, right?
Yeah, it does.
And
yeah.
you got something to do too. Come back with us because we've got plenty more rides. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to Pop's Car Show at the Sons of Herman Social Club in Akron, Ohio on Cruise In.
All right, Paul, what is this you're sitting in front of today?
This is my 1956 Chevrolet Delray Club Coupe.
How long have you had this?
Since 1904.
1904?
Well, 24.
I was gonna say, you look good for your age. Yeah. How did it look like this when you found it, or did you have to do a restoration of this?
No, we did restoration on it.
Yeah. What did it look like when you found it?
It had some holes in the floorboard. We replaced that. Now we put it on a rotisserie and did the rest of the car.
And did you do a full frame off?
Yes.
And what was the hardest part of this, the frame off, to get it back looking this way?
Probably the mud that was on the back fender.
Really? Where'd you find it at?
About 5 pounds of mud.
Really? What is this, an off-road car at some point?
It came out of Georgia.
Oh, okay. Was it stuck in a field?
It more than likely was because the rails were full of red clay.
So how did you find it?
I found it through a friend of mine that was going to auction it off.
Really? And you said, I need that up here.
Yep.
I want to put in all that work so I could sit in front of this beautiful thing like this, right? When you did it, how long did it take you to do the full restoration?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. So did you finish on the 50th anniversary?
No, it was just after.
Just after, okay. I like all the 50th anniversary on the dashboard there
Yeah.
and everything too. Absolutely gorgeous, obviously. What made you choose this color, this scheme?
We went through all the books that the companies had, and this is the color that we like the best.
Did you try to keep it as close to original as possible?
It is original.
Really? Everything, dashboard, everything, huh?
Yeah.
So tell me a little about why this car. What was this? Were you out looking for this exact kind, or?
No, I had three of them in California and had to leave them there.
So did you move back here?
Yeah.
How long did it take you to find another one to
30
redo?
years.
30 years. At any point did you say, it's not gonna happen?
I was beginning to wonder.
Was it a constant search, or was it, here and there I looked?
I look here and there, go to the car shows and see what they have.
Yeah, and you find it 30 years later.
Yeah.
With mud caked all over the back
Oh yeah.
of it. What makes this a Del Rey coupe?
Most of them are post. They have the post in the center. Well, the windows are a little further back on a Del Rey.
And what did you do? What kind of engine is in this?
380. The engine is 383 stroker.
And was the engine in need of a ton of work when you got it? Did you have to completely rebuild that as well?
No, we rebuilt it.
Yeah. How difficult was that?
Not hard.
Not too bad. Well, it's easy for you to say. I couldn't go do
Well,
that, but yeah.
I couldn't run your camera either.
There you go. So did the shirt come after the car, or did you have the shirt the entire time you were searching for the car?
After.
After. You saw it and you're like, well, I have to have the shirt too, right?
Yes.
And do you have other shirts like that, or is it just...
I keep, there's 5 shirts.
I like it.
Exactly like this. Just in case, like tomorrow we're going down to Ragersville.
Uh-huh. Well, now you're going to be famous because you're on the TV show, so if there's screaming fans and one tears your shirt, you have backups for yourself. There you go.
Got a backup.
How often do you get it out to car shows and cruising?
During the summer, mostly.
Yeah? Yeah.
And it's usually every weekend.
Really? Well, I'm glad you got it out today, and the weather is beautiful for you to show us. Because it is gorgeous, and the car is gorgeous, and we appreciate you showing it to us.
I thank you for interviewing me.
All right, Ted, this is a beautiful ride you're standing next to. What do you have here?
Thank you. It's a 1972 Javelin SST.
And how long have you had it?
We got it from my wife's mother when she passed away, 1979.
And so she had it before you did. Was she the original owner?
She was the original owner. She bought it in 1972.
Really? And so was it in great condition when you got it? How would it look like?
It was a grocery getter. It was kind of dented up a little bit, but it spent some time in a body shop.
Yeah? How long did it take to restore it to this? Because this is obviously not a grocery getter now.
No. We spent 8 months in the body shop, and the body man said that he wouldn't do it unless we got involved. So the wife and my 2 daughters and myself spent some time out there sanding and stripping and putting her back together.
Really? So the whole family got involved?
Yes.
And I'd imagine, were the girls loving every minute of it, or were they at some points like, hey, I don't know about going tonight?
The one daughter was a gearhead and she loved doing it. In fact, she wants the car now, and I said no. The other daughter, she just put up with it.
Yeah, just had to do it because the family was doing it, right? So what did it look like when you took it in to restore it, and how much did you have to do?
There wasn't really a whole lot to do with it. We drove it about 5 years in Ohio, hit a deer with it, minor damage, put it away. It sat in the garage for 24 years. Once the daughters were gone and out of the house, we decided to do the body work on it.
So what else did you have to do to it?
Just pretty much strip her down and put her back together.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
Why a Javelin? Just because it was in the family? And
it was her mom's car and she left it to her.
And this is an interesting car because it has some it's Frankenstein parts on it, correct?
Yes. They have a Ford engine in it and a 727 Chrysler Torque Command transmission.
And why is that?
AMC did that. They contracted Ford and Chrysler to put it together.
And how does it ride?
Fast.
Fast? Yeah. Now
it's
always in the speed limit though.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little pony car. It was to compete with the Camaros and the Mustangs, and it held its own.
And does your wife like driving it too?
She has not driven it since we fixed it.
Really?
No. She is the owner, and I'm the trainer and the jockey.
Hey, that's not a bad gig to have with this though. There are some times where you'd say you might want to do that, but this is, it could be worse, let's put it that way, right?
Yes.
How often do you get this out driving it?
Whenever there's a show.
Yeah? And you drive it to the show, right?
Yes. If you see it on a trailer, call the cops, somebody's stealing it.
That's great. Well, so what's your favorite part about this car?
The originality of it.
You don't see a ton of them?
No.
And when other people see it, what's their reaction?
Most of them like it. A lot of them don't because they like the Mustangs and Chevelles and.
Yeah, you're a little bit outside the box.
Yes.
That's a good thing though. You seem like an outside the box type of guy.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. We appreciate you bringing it out today, showing it to us. By the way, love the mom's car license plates. Fantastic.
All right.
And the hat and the shirt. And the belt buckle. Look at you. You're a walking gift shop. Thank you for showing us today.
You're welcome.
Coming up,
When it was fixed originally, it wasn't fixed in the best way or the proper way.
the Buckeye guys correct some fiberglass problems next.
Hey folks, thanks for tuning in to this week's edition of Cruisin' with the Buckeye Guys. As you can see, it's just me, Don, here, no Nate. This week we're going to talk about additional services we provide here at Buckeye Restoration. One of them being fiberglass bodywork. A lot of shops won't touch it. It's kind of a scary thing to get into because it's not like metal where you can just shape it and weld it back together. It takes an experienced hand to know how to get these vehicles back together. Behind me is a '68 Corvette that had some damage in the rear driver's side area here, which crunched a lot of the car. And when it was fixed originally, it wasn't fixed in the best way or the proper way. So now the customer wants to go ahead and get it fixed up correctly so he can rebuild the car himself. So right now we've got a lot of the fiberglass cut out so we can assess exactly how much damage is on the car. Like I said, a lot of damage here in the rear driver's side area, which in turn pushed up, closed the door gaps, closed the T-top gaps, as well as some damage in the front end. So like I said, we're just going through it and trying to figure out exactly what we have to do here. Thanks for tuning in to this week's edition of Cruisin' with the Buckeye Guys. Keep in mind, we are your premier one-stop shop for all your restoration needs. Whether it's fiberglass work, sheet metal and body work, paint work, mechanical work, or electrical work, we can do it all here. Give us a shout, 330-533-4757.
Well, now you're a part of the family, so you can't go anywhere. There's more great rides from Pop's Car Show coming up after this on Cruise In.
Now back to Pop's Car Show at the Sons of Herman Social Club in Akron, Ohio on Cruise In.
Okay, Betty, what are these two beautiful rides you're standing next to?
Well, this is my husband's beautiful 1967 GTO. We've had it since 1972. This one belonged to my son when he was only 3. It was given out in 1965 by the GTO Corporation when you bought a new GTO, and we had it redone to match this. So we have both of them.
How much work did you do to this? When did you redo your GTO?
Well, it sat idle for about 25 years in the garage. Then we pulled it out, and we've been working solid on it for about the past 3 years.
Wow. And what all have you done?
Well, completely new paint job, new engine, complete graphics, all of the artwork. It's got all the original interior. It's got the original 411 gear, Hurst 4-speed, but the whole interior is new, and we used all new old stock parts. We didn't go any repo parts.
And how did you get the idea for the design? The heads on the side, the pinstriping, the paint on the hood. How did you come up with that?
Well, the Indian was Pontiac's logo back in 1967, so we knew we wanted to incorporate the old logo of the Indian, and we gave it to our painter, who's also our artist, Rudd Sutton, and he come up with this idea to make the Indian going. My husband wanted the Indian to progress back to pinstripes, and then he added the eagle feathers on the back and did all the artistic. We gave only the basic idea.
And how about the inside of the hood? Because that is absolutely gorgeous. How'd you come up with that?
Well, again, we went to Rudd Sutton, and we knew we wanted something painted on the inside, but we wasn't sure what. We knew we wanted it to say American Muscle and incorporate the American flag and the stars. And we told him, he said, paint something beautiful inside. And he said, in his opinion, there's nothing more beautiful than this car. So we painted this car in the middle.
It is absolutely gorgeous. How does that paint not get messed up? How does it not melt?
Well, he used a special type of paint, and also there's air that circulates underneath the engine to keep it cool so our paint doesn't bubble.
It looks like it's brand new, like it was just painted yesterday. How long ago was that done?
This was done 3 years ago.
Wow. Now I have to ask you, what's with the monkeys?
Okay, now when the car was sitting in the garage for 25 years, I told my husband, I said, you ever get it running, my monkeys get to go for a ride. He said, if I ever get that car running, you can put all the monkeys you want in it. So that's why we've got Mr. and Mrs. Monkey, and this is the mean monkey. He keeps small children out of the little car.
Because if that guy wasn't in there, I bet you they'd be jumping in it, right?
Oh, they sure would. And I don't like to tell them no, but it's just too precious to let kids play with.
And you said this was your son's when he was 3,
This was our son's. When he was 3, he's 46 right now.
Wow. And what kind of condition was that in before you started?
Well, it looked a whole lot worse than I ever could imagine. It was dented, bent, broke. I thought it was beyond hope. We took it to Rudd and said, what can you do? He said, I'll treat her like a big car and handle her with love, and that's what turned out.
And now, did you get a proportionally smaller price, or did it cost you the same?
Oh,
thing?
no, he gave us a real good price. He's a good friend.
That's good. Well, thank you so much.
He's become more than a painter. He's become a great friend.
That is awesome. Very, very good. Well, thank you so much for bringing it out today. It's absolutely gorgeous. And keep up the great work showing this off, and keep care of those monkeys.
Oh, I will. Thank you.
Well, if you didn't make it out here to Pop's Car Show, you missed tons of great rides. They're going to give away all these trophies. And look who I ran into, a couple of the judges. It's Mary and Pops himself. Pops, how long have you been doing the show?
17 years.
17 years. And how many of these guys have you seen for almost the whole time?
Most all of them.
Yeah, and you got to take a lot of pride in the judging this thing.
Oh yeah, I do. It's fun to do.
Yeah, some of the best rides in Akron out here, I can tell you that.
There are today. There's some nice ones today.
Yeah, there's some really, really good ones. Yep. Glad you got to see some of them. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Will Burge saying so long until next time on Cruise In.